What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're breaking down an insanely fun Solar Titan build that has some pretty good survivability, really good ability uptime, and at the end of the day is extremely easy to use. You're going to ignite every single thing in your path, and pretty much your primary weapon, your non-special, your non-heavy, is going to be your bread and butter into this. So you're going to be making tons of special and heavy ammo, so you shouldn't have a problem with ammo economy as well. But before we go into some negative content, let's show you what this build can do, break down it entirely for you. Let's get into that. So real quick, we're in the shooting range. You can see right now we have Pyrogenesis available on our weapon. What this does is this. It's a little laser beam. We pick up a fire sprite, we immediately have it back. And it just, the ignitions are huge. The damage, the ad control is insane. This thing will just tank unstoppables as well. But what is it that actually helps out with this? And that, of course, is our featured exotic, the Devil's Ruin sidearm. This thing has been in the game for quite some time, but it is insanely really good right now, especially with the solar artifact mods. With Close the Gap, Final Blows will create a fire sprite, and after picking up that fire sprite, you hold the reload button to get a high-powered solar laser beam that you guys just saw. Strong against unstoppable champions. It's a primary weapon. It's an exotic primary, which means it generates ammo more frequently anyways. So how did we want to build around this in terms of just the insane fire sprite generation, the ignition generation as well? So that takes us into just our subclass. We are on, of course, solar. You can use Burning Maul. You can use Hammer of Soul. I chose to go with Burning Maul because I like the animation of boom, right? Now, class abilities, we want to go with Rally Barricade. This is going to have a slower cooldown. It doesn't even have a slower cooldown anymore. Anyways, we're going with the Rally Barricade because why not? Catapult Lift. For the melee, if you want to throw hammers, by all means, go ahead and do that. I want to build into full ignition with this build, so we're going with Hammer Strike because this will scorch targets and deal damage, but also when you defeat them with a Hammer Strike, they do ignite. Then for the grenade, again, we're going into just insane damage with our Thermite grenade. This is the best damaging grenade on your solar subclass, though it does go in a straight line, so it's kind of situational on how you want to use it, but it's going to synergize really well with this playstyle. For our aspects, of course, we're going with Roaring Flames, so Final Blows with solar abilities or ignitions will increase the damage of our solar abilities. So this actually would pair really well with your hammer if you just want to throw it, because you get Roaring Flames ×3. You throw your hammer, you can pick it up, pick it back up, and you can keep throwing it. That would be the better pick here, but I want to build into just ignitions. Now, we are going with Consecration, again, because of the ignition set. It's just, for me, it's a ton of fun. It's a really enjoyable playstyle at the end of the day. We like to just go up in the air, slam the hammers, create more Consecrations. And we do know it did get nerfed, so it's not as good as it could be. So if you want to run Soul Invictus, by all means, go ahead and do that, because Solar Ability Final Blows and Hammer of Soul impacts and defeating those scorched targets will create sunspots, which your abilities generate faster in. So if you don't have high armor stats and you're having trouble with just ability regeneration, toss on Soul Invictus, toss on Throwing Hammer, and you're going to have a fantastic build right there as well. Now, for the fragments that really help this shine, and it's another reason I am using just Consecration, because it gives us that 3 fragment slots. First up is Ember of Eruption, so Solar Ignitions have an increased area of effect. Then we have Ember of Solace, so our Radiant and our Restoration have an increased duration. Ember of Ashes, so we're going to apply more Scorch stacks. Then there's Ember of Searing, so defeating Scorch stacks will grant melee energy and as Fire Sprites as well, which then Fire Sprites will also grant us grenade energy upon picking them up, then synergize back into Devil's Ruin, proccing its exotic perk. Then we have Ember of Singeing, so our class ability will recharge faster when we scorch targets. We're going to do this extremely often, meaning you can have a really low class stat. It's not going to matter, and I'll show you here in a second. But what else are we using with this, right? Mint Retrograde, because one, it's best in slot. It doesn't matter what special weapon you want to use. Use whatever you're comfortable with or whatever the activity calls for. Then this is a ton of fun. I just had to include it in the build. This Unwavering Duty has Incandescent as well as Burning Ambition. So dealing sustained damage will cause Scorch and ignite the target. And then, of course, we all know what Incandescent does. It scorches and blows up targets upon defeats. So I had to pair those two together, knowing we're creating a fun solar ignition build. Just couldn't pass it up. Now, for our featured exotic helmet, I see featured because it's on the build. It's not actually featured for the exotics at the moment, is Khepri's Horn. If you guys checked out our original Khepri's video, you know this thing is utterly insane. So solar final blows will recharge our barricade, meaning we can have that lower class stat, especially paired with our fragment. And when we have a solar super equipped, meaning yes, you can use this on prismatic, casting your barricade will unleash a solar wave of energy, which is this. If you guys didn't know what that is, of course it's been in the game for a while, but then it creates a fire sprite, which will give us restoration, grenade energy, as well as proc our exotic perk for the Devil's Ruin, and just blow up everything in sight, which creates another fire sprite. So fire sprite cooldown isn't really a bad thing here. Yes, it's a couple seconds, but with the ways you have to create fire sprites and how often you're going to be doing damage with your solar abilities, with the exotic, your fire sprite generation is going to be through the roof. The artifact mods that are going to synergize extremely well with this build, first up is Flame, Fiber, and Freeze, which will combine our Solar and our Strand Siphon mods. Then there's Threadling Proliferation, so when we deal damage with a Strand weapon, it can create Threadlings. And of course, Fever and Chill, so rapid Solar Precision hits or rapid Solar Final Blows will make us Radiant, giving us that 20% extra damage. Then there's Reciprocal Draw, so non-sidearm Final Blows will create or proc Reciprocal Draw, which means when we pull out our sidearm, it's going to deal more damage. We also have on Elemental Daze, so when we do stun champions, it will create an Elemental Explosion. Elemental Coalescence, so defeating targets has a chance to create an Elemental Pickup, matching our equipped super, in that case a Fire Sprite. Of course, we're going to be Radiant quite often. We got to toss on Radiant Shrapnel. So when we deal damage with weapons to Scorch targets or while we're Radiant, it's going to toss off those little Scorch buddies. And lastly is Shield Crush. So while we're Radiant, our grenade will recharge faster and it will deal more damage. But real quick, before we take this into some negative content, of course, we got to talk about our armor mods and then just go blow stuff up. So with the exotic helmet, we're going with two harmonic siphon mods. Reason being is we're going to be doing a lot of damage and a lot of kills with our solar weapons. So we want to make sure we can create orbs of power as often as possible. And then of course that dual mod with Strand and Solar as well. You can easily slot one of these off for Dynamo, which actually probably be a really good pick now that I think about it. So we're going to do that instead, because that will reduce our super cooldown while we use our class ability near targets. Then for the gauntlets, we're tossing on a heavy-handed mod as well as firepower. So our melee and our grenade both can create orbs of power. Then momentum transfer. So when we cause damage with our grenade, it will reduce our melee cooldown. Since we're not using throwing hammer, that's going to come in handy, just giving our melee back higher and higher more often. Now, chest piece, we all know we're going to swap these two resistance mods based on whatever activity we're doing. Then a solar ammo generation mod to increase the ammo that we can create from Devil's Ruin. For the legs, recuperation, gutted, toss on better already. It's better. Now that will begin health regen every time we pick up an orb. Then there's Absolution to reduce all ability cooldowns upon orb pickup. And of course, a solar weapon surge to increase the damage of our sidearm, but also our heavy weapon as well. For the class, you know, it's Powerful Attraction, it's Reaper, and we're going to toss on Distribution on this one as well, which will reduce all cooldowns when we use our class ability near targets. And remember that will also proc Dynamo as well. And since our class stat is only 38, let's show you really quickly just how fast we can actually get this back because of the fact that we're going to be scorching targets. So come on, dude. Yeah, there we go. So we use our class ability, right? That's going to go ahead, kill some stuff, pick up a fire sprite, proc that, and our class ability is back. Even with 38, it being extremely low, our class ability comes back extremely often. We just used it, it's halfway back already, so you're not going to have any trouble actually getting your class ability up if it's extremely low, and that's why I opted to go with high melee, high grenade, high super, and we got lucky and got some high weapons as well. We don't need to worry about health, we don't need to worry about class. Let's go take this into some negative content to see how well it performs. Okay, we opted to go with negative 35 on this one. And, you know, we like Skywatch. Skywatch is one of my favorite solo ops to run. It feels a little bit more like it has some more constant action in terms of just ads. There are some parts where it's not as fun. But hey, you know what? Let's go create that fire sprite real quick. Got another orb. Create another orb right there. All right, now we have our pyrogenesis available, so we can go into this next room. One thing I didn't mention too is the pyrogenesis will actually just stay with you, so you can stow your weapons and not have to worry about it too much. Ignite that guy, which killed everybody else around it. Now let's go use this barricade. But the barricades don't go upstairs, guys. This thing just does insane damage too. Create a fire sprite right there, which gives us some healing. Perfect. Again, since we did pick up the fire sprite, we also have that back, which will fully reload our weapon. Oops. I completely missed. Let's go ignite him real quick. Create another fire sprite. Which it's just, you have it up so often. Right there, that punch got it. Kills everything inside, dude. It's crazy. Okay, now we can go to the next part. Every time I want to do videos like this where I want to showcase not necessarily just like ability spam or weapons that don't require precision hits, it always gives me precision hits for the bonus modifier. So that means we have to take this guy out, try to get some precision hits because we're only 3 out of 30. There's another fire sprite because we kill the scorched target. Which I know this weapon does come from Trials. You guys don't need it for this build whatsoever, but I highly, highly recommend getting it. I honestly wanted this weapon specifically kind of for the meme of Burning Ambition and Incandescent, and I didn't really think I'd make a build with it, but it's a lot of fun. Problem is ammo. Because, you know, when you start solo ops and you have 0 ammo for any type of weapon, it's great. Okay, turn that on. Also, I feel like the Fallen version of this just isn't as fun as the High version. Because they come in their little ships. Just, dude, the range you have on this, too, is crazy. And they'll walk straight into that. I hate Vandals. And there's the Threadlings right there. Perfect. Now we can just... Actually, let's go pick this up real quick, because those will disappear. But we don't need to worry about our perk disappearing, because it's not going to. Okay, now we're going to go Concentration Slam a bunch of people. And a bunch of people, I mean these 2 unsuspecting Vandals that just walked up the stairs. Dude, it's just... Let's try to snipe this guy right here. And that creates a fire sprite, that punch? Awesome. No idea why. I'm sitting here trying to snipe this Vandal from so far away, and this little Bane kills me. Just inconsiderate, man. Like, we had a treaty. You were not allowed to shoot me. I was not allowed to shoot you. Okay. It has some really good range. And I'm not usually a big sidearm fan. If you guys have been in any of our streams at all, every time I get sidearm recommendations, I just don't want to use it. But this laser beam is crazy. Just the range alone that it has is, I'm just blown away. Okay, that's gonna... See what I mean by the grenade? Does great damage, but not against a truck. So other grenades you can use, solar grenade, you can use a fusion grenade, healing grenade if you're having trouble staying alive. All are really good options, but we wanted to go with the most damage possible. In a straight line, of course, because that makes sense. This thing takes forever to catch. Come on. Give me the hive one where I can just go and shoot the crystals and not have to worry about capping zones. I'm not trying to play PvP right now. Alright, let's go create some more fire sprites. We did get a little bit of heavy from that. We'll get a little bit more in a second. Obviously, with this gun, you can use better perks like target lock. You can use bait and switch, but for the sake of this solar build, we had to go with this one. All right, let's do this. I can't believe I just missed that. Kill that guy. Ignite all them. Create orbs right there. This shield is really going to come in handy once we get into the next room. I kind of want to use it more offensively than defensively. Get another fire spray. Oh my god, I can't see what I'm doing. There's that. Okay. Pyro is available. Kill that guy so now the boss will spawn. Now we got more heavy ammo, which is going to be really nice. Okay, remember, it doesn't go upstairs. Now we can use this. Okay, dead. That was the worst grenade. Thank you. Fire spray for health. We almost have our class ability back again. Oh my god, I thought he was going to be faster. Why are you stuck in that? Okay, class ability's back. Scorched him, ignite him, perfect. Another fire spread up there. It doesn't have the best damage on the boss, but hey, it does pretty good. There's another fire spray. Now we can use this for burning ambition. Just get more ignitions off. We missed that fire spray. That's okay. We almost have our super back too, which is incredible. What is that guy doing? Let's play a little bit more up here with this. Perfect. Easy. And this thing does have some pretty good range, some pretty decent tracking on it too. And if you want, you can just do this. But at the end of the day, this build has been a lot of fun, especially if you're doing higher ad dense activities. Just being able to shoot your laser and just kill so much at one time it's been a lot of fun. So I'm really glad that you guys push me to use more builds, more weapons and loadouts that I'm not normally used to. Of course, I want to bring this to you as well to see. I'm sure some of you guys have probably already used this. And if you have, let me know down in the comments if you'd make it better. Also, let me know down in the comments what you would swap in or out to fit your play style, fit, and make more sense for you guys. I always like to hear what you guys are using or your just ideas you have when it comes to builds that I share with you, because it helps me create better builds in the future. It helps me try out new things that I might have forgotten even worked well together. So I always appreciate it. Feel free to leave a like. It is free support. But as always, thank you guys so much for coming and watching, and I will catch you in the next one.